With me now is Josh Rogin. He's a columnist for the Washington Post. Josh, thank you so much for being here. One of the reasons I love reading and listening to you is you're blunt. You call it like you see it. And when you look at the last year, you call Vladimir Putin a kidnapper here.
Well, that's right. I think there's two things going on. One is that Vladimir Putin is a criminal, a thug, a gangster. And one of the things he does is he sends murderers and weapons dealers around the world to commit crimes. And then when they get scooped up and put in foreign prisons, he captures some foreigners and tries to make a trade. And that's straight up mafia behavior. But at the same time, he's also a dictator. And ever since he came into power, but especially since the war in Ukraine began, he's been crushing dissent inside of his country by rounding up foreign journalists, Russian journalists, dissidents, anyone who talks about the war at all in a way that he doesn't like. And this is what dictators do. They combine external aggression with internal repression every single time. So when you think about Putin in those terms, on the one hand, a gangster who's committing crimes and then trying to get his criminal henchmen back into the fold. And secondly, as a dictator who's trying to battle something greater called the truth, you can really understand why this situation is as bad as it is.
Is his kidnapping working?
Well, I mean, in Putin's mind, he has consolidated control. He is thoroughly propagandizing his own people. He has driven Western journalists out of Russia, Western NGOs. And so in his mind, I'm sure he thinks it is working. The problem, of course, is that the truth can never really be suppressed, that eventually it will get out, even inside of a closed society like Russia. And over time, the people will realize that they're being lied to. So it's a losing game in the long run. But meanwhile, the people who pay the price are innocent people, not just Evan, who did nothing wrong, but Paul Whelan, a former Marine, Vladimir Kara-Murza, a Washington Post contributing columnist who's sentenced to 25 years in prison, Radio Free Europe, Radio Liberty, dual citizen Alsu Kermashiva, and countless others. So yeah, Putin may think he's winning in the short term, but in the long term, all dictators eventually lose.
You know, in the long term, in the moral arc of the universe, which bends toward justice, as Martin Luther King said, journalism is not a crime in the universal sense, though it may be criminal in Russia right now. What do you think the prospects are for Evan, Josh?
Well, I think the good-ish news for Evan and his family and his colleagues is that we have seen that even though U.S.-Russia relations are at a low point, even though there's a war going on, these deals can get done. And they operate somewhat on a separate track, largely in private for good reason. So there is a pattern and a history of these deals getting done, even under these crazy circumstances where these two countries otherwise don't really talk to each other. The bad news is that it's going to likely take a while because Putin's pattern is to maximize the suffering of the hostages and their families in order to maximize his leverage at the negotiating table. And so the pattern that we've seen is that usually the deal comes after the conviction. That's not always the case, but it's sometimes the case. And as we're now seeing by Evan's fifth pretrial detention extension, we don't even know when that sham trial is going to even begin. So I think there's a good chance that Evan will get back to his family. We just can't say when.
Josh Rogin, thank you so much for doing what you do and for being with us this morning. Appreciate it.